Joining me now live for more from Sydney's Peter Curry from the NRMA. Peter, thanks so much for coming in and for your time. Easter, obviously a very busy period for roads right across the country, not just in New South Wales. Double demerits though, it's a feature around the country, but not quite in Victoria. Does it work, having the double demerit system in terms of trying to push that road safety message?
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, we believe so. Here in New South Wales, we have them. Depends on the state and territory. Some do, some don't. But the NRMA's view has been, because it's done as a suite of measures over these critical long weekend periods, they introduce double demerits at the same time that you get a stronger police presence on the roads, plus all the education campaigns that lead into those periods. And so all those things combined, we think helps to drive home that really important message about doing the right thing when you're driving with your family at Easter time, and that's why we think it's important.
We've heard about some terrible crashes that have been occurring already around the country. 4 people have died in a crash north of Canberra. There's a fatality that has occurred near Bendigo in Victoria last night. It's a sad feature, isn't it, of the Easter sort of weekend, this road toll that does continue, I guess, into this year. Peter, I guess, what are the main factors that you're hearing contributing to this road toll around the country, and what's being done to sort of get it down?
Yeah, look, it is really challenging. We had a challenging year last year. The road toll nationally went up. We were plotting pretty well here in New South Wales. Today's announcement, today's news is obviously horrible. Just a terrible tragedy again, and we're unfortunately seeing more fatalities at this time of year when families are getting together. And the challenges are extensive in trying to bring the road toll down. We know, there are things that we can do to target bad driver behaviour, and certainly the police, as your report just had earlier, they're going to be out in force this weekend. We need to do more to make the roads safer, to improve our road network. The road network right across the eastern seaboard copped an absolute battering over the last 12 months because of all the rain, and we've seen what sort of damage that's done. And so we also obviously need to get back on top of fixing the road network so that people don't pay with their lives when they make a mistake behind the wheel. So we just need to keep working on the things that we know can make a difference, cracking down on bad driver behaviour, rewarding good drivers, fixing the road network, and constant education campaigns that run in partnership with the enforcement programs.
Absolutely. I mean, budgets are sort of starting to get a bit tight for state governments around the country, but fixing roads, you think that should be a number one priority?
Yeah, well, absolutely. And we've seen that here in New South Wales. The New South Wales government, the previous government in the lead up to the election that we had here in New South Wales last week had already announced an additional $1.5 billion above and beyond what they had already contributed in their state budget last year. And so they pretty much doubled the spend on roads here in New South Wales. We are looking desperately now to the federal government to increase its commitment above and beyond the billion odd that they announced in last year's federal budget. And I think every state and territory is pretty much in the same position, where the amount of damage that's been done to the road network goes well and beyond anything that regional councils can fund themselves. Councils are responsible for about 80% of the bitumen, maintaining that road network. They're responsible for about 80% of it, and they just don't have the revenue stream. So they rely on federal government funding and state government funding. And, clearly we want to see the federal government increase its contributions to those programs that councils can access.
No doubt. And how's the fuel prices looking? Because earlier in the week, OPEC announced that it was trying to slow down production a little bit, and perhaps a bit of an ambered claim from them. But has that really filtered through to the fuel prices at all around the country?
Not really. The OPEC announced, I think it was about a million odd barrels cut in production, which is about 1% of what we would use daily. And there was an initial reaction on the markets. I think oil prices went up about $4 or $5 a barrel, but then peeled back again. We hardly saw any movement at all on the wholesale price here in Australia. I think it went up about a cent. So not massive movement as a result of that announcement, but prices were already pretty high here in Australia. So Sydney right now is the most expensive city in the country. Its average, even though we're falling very, very slowly. Its average was $1.96. Melbourne was only a couple of cents off that, and Brisbane not far behind. Most of the other cities are in the 180s, a couple are below $1.80. The wholesale price is $1.79. So the prices are pretty high. We want to see them come down. We definitely want to see diesel prices come down because they haven't fallen anywhere near enough. But certainly over the Easter period, there shouldn't be any sudden movements in prices.
Well, let's hope it stays that way. Peter Courier from the NRMA, really appreciate your time this Good Friday. Thanks very much.
Cheers.